Coach, before we get started, first of all, Mark Orozco was named the SWAC Specialist of the Week. Just talk about how valuable he's been to the team so far.
Well, he's been a huge contributor to our offense. There's been times where we haven't been able to finish drives and put the ball in the end zone, and he's done a good job of getting us half of what we need and getting us 3 points in those situations. And he has a very strong leg. He also helps us when we're starting off defensive drives, really getting a lot of touchbacks. I think he had 4 last week. Just a tremendous asset to our football program.
Questions?
Coach, with Alden Clark, I guess only throwing 1 pass in the ball game on Saturday, and Jeremy Hickbottom having the game he had, is Jeremy kind of distancing himself in that quarterback race for who's going to be the guy in 2018?
Well, we're still working on that. We plan to play both of them. Before last week, we were kind of leaning towards Jeremy. Jeremy I think he got a little bit of a thigh bruise, contusion or so, and we put Alden in, and Alden made a couple plays, but we still want to play both guys. I feel both guys have a chance to be good players. They're just both very young, and but also we have other issues that we have to get corrected, to help them be successful.
What do you think some of the biggest takeaways were from this past weekend?
I think the biggest takeaway is consistently making mistakes. For maybe 4 or 5 weeks now, we're continuing to make mistakes, turn the football over, not understanding who to pick up in certain situations and protections. It's a consistent mistake type of atmosphere by us at this particular time, and we're working to try to simplify things to get things corrected. There are some spots where we're not as experienced as we need to be, but then there's also some spots where we gotta play smarter football. So it's one of those tough situations to be in, but that's part of it. It's part of it, and the only way I know how to work is to go back and look at it and and correct it, because it's not going to correct itself. You just got to keep working to try to correct your mistakes and keep growing. That's all you can do, is just keep growing.
You mentioned finishing drives.
Mm-hmm.
7 games in, how do you go about just turning that that trend around to where you guys can finally start putting the ball in the end zone consistently?
It's very, very tough, and when you get inside of the 10-yard line, then it exposes how much experience you have, but it also exposes how physical you are up front, and that's one of those things that that we're having troubles with at this particular time, is trying to find ways to get in the end zone, touchdown wise, with what we have going on, and we've got to play more physical football. We've got to be able to run the football. And we got to stop putting so much pressure, on our quarterbacks, because our quarterbacks are having to do too much at this particular time, and they're not at that stage of their career where they can handle, doing that much, in our offense.
Now you talk a lot about playing perfect. It's one of your biggest things to preach as a coach.
Yeah.
At this point in the season, just kind of how do you maybe strip back to the basics, or how do you just kind of try to rebuild that or teach upon that from what you've seen?
I think for us, is to try to stay simple, and we've done that. I think that's helped us. It's given us, a chance, in ball games. If you notice, the last, 3 weeks, we've thrown the ball a lot better, but it also exposes us, in the protection game. So it's a tough situation to be in, trying to find that balance, but also trying to protect your guys so they can't make plays and throw the football. But what will help is if you can run the football, because so many people are doing different things to try to stop us, and they're being successful at it at this particular time.
The defense is playing exceptional, hence you guys forced them to make 4 field goals.
Yeah.
How much has the defense really grown since the ULL game in week 1?
Well, they've grown a lot, but a lot of times they've always played that way. I think this game is so much about being a team, and sometimes your defense that's really, really good can be exposed if you're not grown up on the other side of the ball. And I think early on in the season, our defense was playing, too many plays. And I don't care how good you are, you're going to get exposed, when you have to play that many plays. When you give someone that many, shots at you, eventually, they're going to hit, on some runs, and they're going to hit on some throws. And we grew up a little bit offensively, and we stayed on the field, and were able to score some points, which helped our defense, around later on in week 4 and 3 and things of that nature. And that kind of helped our defense, where they can get a breather and then go back to work. It works hand in hand. Special teams, is all in there, but then also offense and defense is in there as well. There's been times where we've scored a lot of points, but when you look at the scoreboard, the first thing you look at, man, their offense must have exploded. But you never really understand that at times defense puts you in those type of positions too. So it's such a team game and such a team-oriented situation that it takes all of it in order for all of us to be successful.
Talked about the youth on the team, but you look at some of these games, they're this close.
Yeah.
What does that say against good ball teams too? So what does that say about who this team is now moving forward? Like, still a very good and impressive football team.
Yeah, I think I think we have a chance to really be a good team. I think this is year 5 for us, and we've had to take a step back in order to set the foundation because we're doing some things a little bit differently than we've done in the last 4 years because we don't have those guys anymore. So you have to make sure you have a system in place that will allow you to still be able to be successful regardless of who's playing various positions. You want to have Superman all the time, but that's just not going to always be the case. So our kids they're learning, they're growing, they're gaining confidence, and yes, they are hurt because we all felt we should have won the ball game. We were a play here or there from winning a ball game, and we were also a call here or there from winning the ball game. So it's just it is what it is, and 50% of the teams win every weekend, and we still have a chance. We still have a chance to be successful. I'm always an optimist type person. I've always believed that the glass is always half full, and I'm always the type of person when television breaks in the house, I'm gonna sit there and work on it and fix it because it's not gonna fix itself. That's just the way it is, and I think those are the people that are always the people that are most successful, those who think that way. And I'm gonna be the same person regardless, whatever situation. When you see me for the last 5 years, I look the same.
Talk a little about the upcoming matchup this weekend.
I tell you, watching them on film, they play extremely hard. You can tell that they're well coached. He comes from championship pedigree, and they still have to get a couple of recruiting classes in there, to really compete year in and year out. But I think they're on the right track, and they made a great hire. They're going to be tough. Anytime we play an opponent in our league, whatever you see, you can expect something 10 times faster. That's just the way it is. Right now, we're the reigning champion, and everyone is taking their shots at us, and we have to make sure we're prepared, to compete at that level. And I think we have to continue to work on that.
How much do you guys at least peak at the SWAC West standings with Prairie View and Southern, and you guys falling out of 3-way tie on Saturday with the loss to Alcorn?
Mm-hmm.
How much do you guys at least pay attention to the SWAC West standings?
Well, I think you have to. Any coach or any player that says they're not paying attention to it, they're lying. That's the truth. Everyone, when you finish a game, what happened? That's part of it. But you're gonna always get those cliche answers. We're focused on what we got to do, and yeah, you are. But after the game, what are you focused on then? You know, you're focused on what happened. So that's just the honest to God truth. You know, you want to play at a certain level every week, regardless of who you're playing, and you want to keep your mind, you know, focused on the task at hand. But after the task is taken care of, you know, the natural man is going to want to look at the scores and see what happens. That's just the honest to God truth.
What's your message to the fans and to the team? Like you said, 50% of the teams are going to have to lose. Like, it's just the way the sport goes. It's going to happen sometimes. What do you say to maybe some of the people that are like, oh, what, you know, freaking out for no reason?
I don't coach the fans. I don't coach the fans. I focus on my 105 guys, and that's all I focus on. You know, and that's the way I've always been. I don't coach the fans when we were 9-0, 10-0. I don't focus on the fans. They're there to do their job. I'm here to do mine, and that's just the way I go about my business.
Hey, Coach, going back to Saturday, there was that one, Brown was like 1 minute, 18 second stretch where they scored 2 touchdowns off 2 Grambling turnovers.
Yeah.
You know, obviously besides the turnovers itself,
Yeah.
what are some other plays in that drive you kind of wish you could take back?
Well, of course, you know, you wish you could take those 2 turnovers back and force them to earn that. You know, as a coach, you know, you never want to lose a game where you gave, you know, your opponent Christmas gifts. You want to see them earn it. But, you know, that's the game. You know, there's been times where we've won games on turnovers. There's been times where we had situations that got us back in the game, you know, with turnovers. So, I mean, you want to have those plays back. But as kids are going to make mistakes. Coaches are going to make mistakes. You know, everyone makes mistakes. We're all human.
So giving up the go-ahead touchdown 12 seconds ago, it's a tough way to lose, especially on the road, especially with the way you guys have been playing up to that point in the game. What was the mood like in the locker room? What did you tell your guys after that game? And just where do you guys go from there?
Well, I mean, you know, we felt we had every opportunity to win that football game before the last touchdown. We thought some things happened in the drive to tie the score that kind of hurt us, you know. But there's nothing we can do about those things, you know. But at the end of the day, we put ourselves in that position because there were mistakes made prior to that situation, the second to the last drive, that basically put them in that situation, you know, to be there at that time. We felt that, you know, we had what it took to take advantage of that football game, and they bounced back and played hard, and then we bounced back and got back in the game. But I always say the same thing to my players. You know, win, lose, or draw, I let them know that I love them and care about them, and as people first. And then, you know, we talk about the mistakes. And then we focus on looking each other and looking themselves in the mirror, as me as well, you know, to try to see what we could do a little bit differently in order to make the next outcome better. And we do that every week, you know, and we've put that game behind us. It's a 24-hour rule regardless if we win or lose. And we've passed the 24-hour deadline.